Hello, and you have made it to the video in which we are going to go over the new and highly anticipated feature called the MCP. What you can do now is you can basically interact with any specific agent that might be your favorite and really talk and chat with the Weave tools that you have without going into Weave. And at the end of the video, I'll also show you a way how you can automate it to create a daily occurring task that can interact with your Weave tools as well. So what I've done is I've set up a workflow first, in which we have put down a prompt node, which you can see here that we're adding the topic to that later with our MCP agent. Then that's going to form the user prompt. We've already predefined a system prompt, and those are going to serve as instructions for your language learning model node that we have here, which will essentially create all the different prompts to generate the YouTube thumbnails for us. So those are going to be image to image prompts, because what we also have done in this workflow is that we've added thumbnail examples here from previous videos that we've made so that we can stay on brand and really create something that we already like and are familiar with. And as you can see, I haven't locked these nodes. So that will mean that later in the tool overview, we can still manipulate those with the MCP. So if you've got different inspiration sets of different images, and you would like to replace the ones that you already have in the workflow, by not locking the nodes and having them appear in the tool overview, you are able to change them however you see fit. And then of course I've added my portrait image. Now keep in mind that if you want to interact with Weave, we have to create a tool. And to create a tool, what you essentially do is you put down the output node right on the canvas. So if I remove it, you can see here that there's a toggle at the top that will disappear if I remove it. But if I bring it back in, it will start to show the tool overview. So as I mentioned, if you lock input nodes, then it will hide them from the tool here. So you've got full control over what is being shown in this specific tool or isn't being shown. Make sure to publish or create this specific workflow or tool so that the MCP is able to call to it later. If you don't publish the tool, the MCP won't be able to find your published tool that you want to interact with. Now, there's also a few other things that we have to do to get going. When you go to the overview, you'll go to the dashboard. I'll go to settings. I'll go to profile. And then I make sure that my account is currently linked to the Figma MCP. So that's basically one end of the bridge. But we also want to make sure that the other end of the bridge also is connected, which is going to be your favorite agent. So in my case, I run Codex. And what I do is I go to plugins. It might also be called connectors in your tool. So what I will do is I'll go to Figma and search for the Figma MCP and make sure that it has been added as a plugin to my specific tool. And then here I can see that I can try it now, which means that the connection has been made. To confirm this, what we can do is we can go into our chat window and we can say list all of my Weave tools. So now it will take a second to go over the connection that we've made and try to find all of the different published tools that we may have generated or set up in our environment. You can see here that we've already seen and generated the tool. So what I could do now is I can ask it to run the tool with all of the default settings. So essentially it is not going to come up with a specific theme for me. I won't be adding different thumbnails to it. I'll just see and try to run this specific workflow to see if it works. All right, so now that we have generated it and we have given it a few seconds to run, we can see that it's always asking us to approve a specific run. This is because the runs that we're doing are actually costing credits. So it's also always making sure to get your approval before running. So now we'll just let that run for a second, and I'm going to show you how you can actually make a scheduled task. So now that I am in my scheduled tasks overview, you can see that I've already plopped one down myself, which is going to be the daily YouTube idea. And essentially what I've done is I've made a daily scheduled task that is going to generate a YouTube idea for me. So you can give it your own instructions. So I'm asking it to list my Weave workflows, search the internet for current AI use cases that I could turn into workflows. I want to have it generate 10 distinct ideas, which I can then pick one from, and then it will start to generate and work that specific workflow. So it's going to take the theme that we picked from the list of 10, and it's going to insert it into the prompt notes. So just to give it like a visual idea is that here we have the theme note in which we're asking it to give one sentence describing the video topic, whatever it may be. So that is what we have set up here as a task to make sure that we're also getting back that specific context, which we then can use as inputs. Now, this morning, I actually already got a task from this specific context window. So here we can see that we have run the automation. It has listed me with the 10 different ideas. And what we can do is, let's go with the third one. So we are going to do a video for MCP, explain through real connected app workflow, confident, slightly nerdy, and neon green accents. So I will say, let's go with the third idea. And essentially what we're doing is the same that we're also used to, is we are just having a conversation in our context window with our favorite tool or agent in this case. Awesome. So now that that is done, we can see that it's asking us, like we have prompted before, to give me the question of if I want to upload my own YouTube thumbnails, that might be new references, or if I want to go with the default ones. What is really cool is that when I go into my Finder, I've already predefined 3 thumbnails that I thought were really cool from our previous videos. So I can just grab it, drag it into the Codex, and I'll say, replace the 3 default thumbnails with these 3 thumbnails. So you can really start to drag and drop local files into your specific context window to make changes to your Weave workflow, which you've previously set up. And again, make sure not to lock a node if you want to be able to interact with it through your MCP. And if it's unlocked, like we showed with the thumbnails, then it will also show in the tool overview here. So just keep that in mind. It's a cool trick because I sometimes forget about that specific thing, and then I have to go back and make changes to that as well. So now that it's preparing the 3 replacement thumbnails, I'll get back to you in a second to showcase the results. Awesome. And as we can see, it is asking us to either approve or cancel the run, because we can now see that it's going to cost us credits. Awesome. And now that we have approved it, it ran the workflow and we are getting back the 3 different thumbnails for our specific video. So if I click here, I love it. Then we go to the second one, and then we go to the third one. So yeah, overall, I think it was a success. So now you know how to connect MCP together with Weave, together with your favorite agent. You are now able to interact with Weave through your favorite agent instead of having to go into Weave. You know how to publish your tools, and you now also know how you can set up a daily task, or you can also simply, if you don't want to set up anything scheduled, just interact with the MCP through simply chatting with your favorite agent. So if you have found anything cool that you want to share with us with the MCP on how you've built something up, please share it with us on the socials or join our Discord community if you want to share anything cool. And if you want to see more of these types of videos, please like the video. Also place a comment if you have any thoughts about what we could do with the MCP feature. And I hope I see you in the next one. Have an amazing day.